With my Marvel Rivals crosshair video, one of the biggest problems people had is saving more than 5 crosshairs. But as you can see here, I have got it, so I've got a custom crosshair on every character, and if I restart the game, these crosshairs will still be on my account. So I want to show you how you can actually do this for yourself and have a custom crosshair saved for each individual hero. And it's fairly simple to do, but it does take a little bit of preparation. So you're going to want to set aside maybe like 20-30 minutes or something if you want to do a crosshair for every single hero. There are 2 methods. You can either download my file, which will just give you all of my crosshairs in one, or what I recommend is going through and creating a custom crosshair for every single character first and doing it yourself. Because, you know, your own best crosshair is your own crosshair built for yourself, right? So, anyway, the way to do this is unfortunately not available on console for now, but good news is they may be adding more Reticle slots in the near future, so stay tuned if you're on console. Now, if you're on PC, I'm going to guide you through this step by step to explain exactly what you need to do to be able to make sure this works. And after this, if this feels like a bit too frustrating or complicated or just too much time wasting, I will put a file where you can download all of my crosshairs. You can just put it straight into your game and it'll save you a lot of hassle, but that means you'll only be able to use my crosshairs specifically. So with that being said, let's have a look at what you need to do to make this work. So to start with, you'll need to go through and click on each and every hero and make sure it's on the default setting. If you use any of the custom saves or interact with the save feature, it can mess things up and just become really confusing for setting crosshairs and potentially even override your crosshair saves. So do not use this, but you will need to go through each and every hero and click default first. Okay, so once you've done that, and you don't have to do this for every hero, just the ones that you want custom crosshairs for. So once you've done that, now go and start going through each hero you want to create a custom crosshair for. What you then need to do is keep it on default, ignore the save function, select circle and crosshairs. Now, as a quick disclaimer for these grayed out settings, if you have reticle animation on, it will have some settings turned off. So make sure this is off. And then these ones are actually parent settings. So width, that is actually defined by all of these different things. So it's grayed out because this is a parent setting. If they're all the same, like this, then you can control the parent setting. But otherwise, you can't. So that's why it's grayed out. You don't need to, you just ignore these. Open up all of these like this, and then you can either create a crosshair for yourself, depending on what design you want. Then you can go through everything. Now, to make sure that you're taking the right steps, go back up to the top, and if you see this star on the Save Reticle button, that means the game recognizes that you've got a custom unsaved crosshair. Do not click Save, but instead go to the next hero and start working on the next crosshair. So, for example, we'll change all the details here, and because I've already got them custom, you'll see that it's still got a star. So as long as you've got a star on the Save Reticle button, you're taking the right steps. So you go through, create custom crosshairs for all of the characters that you want to. And this does mean, unfortunately, you can't use the Import Reticle Code button. That will not work. You've got to do it with manual settings. So once you've done that, what you'll then need to do is actually close the game. Do not click Save on anything. Press Escape, and then click Exit to Desktop. Once you're on the desktop, what you're going to need to do is press Windows key plus R and type %localappdata%. Once you've opened that, what you'll need to do is go down and find Marvel, Saved, Saved again, Config, and then Marvel user setting.ini. Now, the easiest way to do this once you've set your custom crosshair is to go like this, Properties, click Read Only, and then Apply and OK. What I would highly recommend is copying this file and putting it somewhere else on your PC so that it's saved. For example, I've got mine here. Now, the good thing about this is you can have different save files for different crosshairs. So, I don't know, if you're feeling like a blue kind of day, you could set all of your heroes to have blue crosshairs, save this file, put it in a folder, and then, you know, just as a reminder, I could go like blue Marvel setting, right? And then when I want to use that in the future, I can put that in the right location, which would be here, and then just take this out so that the game recognizes it. So that would be the way to do it. So you can set all of your custom crosshairs, and this file will save all of your settings. So now we need to go and open the game again. Now, the reason that this works is because when you go into Marvel Rivals, when the game first loads up, it does a bit of a check to see what settings are saved and what are not, and it will pull in the settings that are available from the last save. So because technically we are going in with unsaved settings, the game would usually overwrite all of those crosshairs that we just made, which is really frustrating. But because we've set the file to read only, the game will not let us have those settings reset. Now, like I said, this is a bit complicated and time consuming, but it doesn't mean once you've set it up, you've set up for good. And I'll explain how you can keep editing them afterwards as well. So let's get into the game first to show that it's working. Now that we're in the game, if we go into the practice range, you can see that all of my recently custom crosshairs are now still available to use. For example, if we go to Adam Warlock, which I think we just messed around with, yeah, it's now red. So before it was blue, we didn't click save. That's proof that it's working, right? We'd made adjustments to change the color. All of the other crosshairs that I had before are still working. So there's a couple of things about this. Because our file is read-only, it's gonna have some effects on your game. Because you can no longer change and save a lot of the other settings when it comes to audio and things like that. So my honest suggestion would be to make all the changes first before you do your crosshairs. Be happy with whatever settings you've got. This includes keybinds as well, by the way. And then once you've done that, go through the settings and create them. Now, what if we want to edit our crosshairs? Now, if we go into the settings here, we can still do that. If we go here and click Adam Warlock, you'll see that our custom reticle is still here. So the way that we can then further customize our reticles is we'd first need to go back to the desktop and actually right click this, go properties and go unclick read only. Now that the game is open, we can unclick read only. But we can only do that once the game is already open. Do not do it before opening the game or that will overwrite all your settings. So now we've got a red crosshair. Just to show that this works, let's put it a nice yellow. And just, you know, for the sake of proof and clarity here, let's make it a little bit wider. Right, that's just a very silly crosshair. So we're not saving it. Once again, we've made an edit to our crosshair. And now we're going to exit the game. Okay. And it's the same steps. We basically, once again, just go properties, read only, apply. So basically, read only when you first open the game. Once you're in the game, you can turn that off if you want to make adjustments. Before you close the game, make sure to turn read only back on. Now, I just want to showcase that this is actually working. And then after that, I'll show you how you can just download my file if you want to just save some time. It has, you know, a lot of crosshairs in there I think a lot of people find useful. Now, if we go into the firing range again, let's take a look at Adam Warlock's new crosshair that we've just made. Now, after that, I'll explain how you can download the file for yourself. So we've just made an adjustment to Adam Warlock's crosshair. As you can see, it's now that weird shape. So that's it. You just have to make sure that the file is on read only when you close the game, and it will not delete your settings. You also need to make sure that you do not at any point ever click any of these custom things. You know, you don't want to do that. That will mess things up. That will completely override settings and just completely ruin your work. But if you see a little star there on the settings, that basically means that you have a custom crosshair or some kind of custom setting that is not necessarily saved. So the game doesn't think that it's saved, but we can take advantage of that to make sure that it doesn't overwrite all of our custom crosshairs. So now let's take a look at how you can just download the file and save some time if you want to use all my crosshairs. Now, this file is basically code for all the crosshairs. Trouble is, there are some custom settings that I don't want to override. I don't want you to override all of your settings, right? So I'll put this file in the description and the pinned comment. All you need to do is open this, copy everything. Once you've copied it, go to your Marvel user setting again. Just for clarification, you need to make sure it's off of read only whilst you do this. I suggest using Notepad++. It's a free software. And now what you want to type in is modified. And what that will do is bring you to the modified reticle section. So now you can just copy all of this, start from here and go all the way to the end of the document, and then just press Ctrl+V, which is paste. And now you have all of the custom crosshairs. Before you actually use it, click read only, apply OK, and then I'll go in the game and just show you one time that it's working. So now we're in the game again, we can go to the practice range, and you can see that all of the crosshair settings are saved from my last sort of crosshair thing. So a good example is if we go to add a more log, we just made some adjustments to that. They are now back to whatever I had set them to previously in my crosshair guide. So yeah, we have all of the settings done. As you can see, all of the custom crosshairs are made for my video. That's pretty straightforward once you get the hang of it. Hopefully you found this useful, and thanks again to the viewer that reached out to show me how to do this. Appreciate the support. Thanks everyone, and I'll see you in the comments. Cheerio.